Welcome to the SRM approval process training for approvers and alternates. In this video, we will be covering the basic approval process for service requests, how to approve or reject a service request, and how to set up an alternate approver. This process flow diagram depicts the general SRM approval process. The process begins with a submitter. The first swim lane represents the customer that is requesting service from a CDT, a business or technical unit. Once a submitter submits a request, it is sent to a designated customer approver. This second swim lane represents the designated approvers and their alternates for the submitter's department. The amount of approvals needed could vary between 1 and 3 depending on the type of request and the submitter department's internal approval process. These approvers have the option to approve or reject a service request, which we'll show you how to do in a moment. The last two swim lanes represent the CDT approval process for service requests and the support groups fulfilling the request. If there are requests awaiting approval, a notification will be displayed on the right of the shopping cart located on the menu bar. To view, approve, or reject a service request, access Approval Central by clicking on the Settings icon on the menu bar, then select Approval Central. Approvers and their designated alternate approvers use Approval Central to access request details and approve requests. Approvers can approve, reject, or view the details of a request by using the appropriate buttons. To view the details of a submitted service request, click on the service request you want to review in order to have it display below. Once displayed, click on the Request ID hyperlink to view the request in more detail. After you click the Request ID hyperlink, it will bring you to the details of the service request, where you can validate that the request was completed properly. When you are finished reviewing the request, exit it by clicking the X at the top right of the screen. To approve a single request, select the request and a check mark will display on the left. Once the request is selected, click the green Approve button displayed on the right or the Approve Selected button at the top. Once approved, the approval history inside of the service request record will display each approver, the status, the approver's signature, and the date and the time of the approval. Once the request is approved by all of the selected approvers, the service request status will change to initiated or in progress. Once the service request is approved by your department, the CDT approval process will begin. Depending on the service request form chosen, your request may have to receive additional approval from our security and financial areas. Specific requests for services are then automatically routed to the appropriate service area for approval. To reject a single request, select the request and populate the justification for rejection. Be sure to include a clear description of what the request is missing and why you are rejecting the request. Once completed, click the red Reject button displayed on the right or the Reject Selected button at the top. Once rejected, the submitter will be able to view the reason for rejection when they access their request. This information is located under Approval History on the Additional Details tab. Once the request is approved or rejected, the status of the request will change to show the submitter the most recent action. You can see from the example on the screen that my request was rejected. If the request has been rejected, there will be a Reopen option below the status that is visible to the submitter. This allows the submitter to add or attach additional information needed and resubmit the request. Once it is resubmitted, it will appear back in the Approval Central for the designated approver or their alternate to view. Speaking of alternates, now seems like a good time to show you how to add them in SRM. There are times when a designated approver will be temporarily unavailable and an alternate approver will need to be set up in their place. This could be for various reasons, from vacations or medical leave, or just an increase of workload. The last thing you want is to become a bottleneck for getting your department's requests approved in a timely manner. Only the designated approver can set up their own alternate in SRM. To set up your alternate approver, access Approval Central from the menu bar. Next, click on My Alternate Approvers located at the bottom left of the Approval Central screen. Click on the New Request button to add a new alternate approver. Complete the highlighted fields above, including the alternate's name and the start and end date of the designation, then click Save. Once your alternates are added, they'll display at the bottom of the screen under Current and Active Alternates. I do want to point out that since the designation does require you to enter an end date, you'll want to set up a reminder for yourself to add them back into the system after the end date passes, or just make sure you check this location before you leave on vacation to be sure that you have someone available to approve your requests for you.